Ogbuebile, the Chief Executive Officer for Encase Consulting. Encase Consulting is an international strategic advisory and capacity building firm. We offer a lot of corporate training and training with faith-based organizations. We understand the importance of why organizations globally have to invest in training. Training is a very essential and important part of the general success of any organization. So we take it very seriously, and we tailor all our trainings to actually identify and meet the needs. We see ourselves as solutionists and problem solvers when we go in. We're very big on people orientation, and so anything that is going to enhance the quality and the value of people in your organization, Encase comes in to ensure that we actually develop that to make sure you can meet your sustainable development goals. Well, people are the core of any organization. The people in your organization determine the output and the quality of your organization. If you have incompetent people or untrained people, your services or your productivity will actually reflect that. So it's very important for organizations to invest a lot in people. It's a key factor. It always baffles me when I see organizations cutting down their training expenses. That's one area where you can't really spend too much money in investing in people, because your people are who you are. When you actually invest in them, in return, they invest in the organization, and the organization succeeds. Well, first of all, you have to understand what a vision is. In most cases, a vision is the direction of where the organization or where the individual is actually going. Where the vision is very clear, you see that there is a lot of energy there's a lot of energy heading in the right direction. Your staff begin to understand what they're supposed to be doing. They become more innovative, they become more productive. They take ownership of whatever is happening or whatever service you're providing, because the vision is very clear. It's not an African mindset, actually. It's a global mindset. It's an individual mindset. The idea of people not buying into what the organization believes in, or not seeing themselves as entrepreneurs in the organization, is not something that is peculiar to Africans or Nigerians. Encase operates in 3 different continents. I've worked in the United States and the United Kingdom, and here we are now in Africa and Ghana. It's seen across the board. Wherever you actually go, you will see that mindset where people just come into work, clock in, and see it as a job and leave. One of the series we provide, one of the services we provide is I Think. And in I Think series, what we try to do is we try to get the corporate team, the executive team, to understand that if members of your staff buy into the service you're providing or buy into what the organization is providing, you begin to see a change of the mindset you're talking about. Because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. In our trainings, we try to get that across. We've had a couple of them so far successfully done here in Nigeria, across board, both for corporate retreats and also in larger forums, where we actually begin to renew the minds of the people that work with you. Because if they feel that, take for instance, Encase belongs to me, I put my all into Encase. If my secretary believes that they have ownership of Encase, they put their all in Encase. Even up to the driver, his attitude changes, because he believes that he has ownership. And this is a two-way thing. The company has to make them feel that they have ownership, and then in return, obviously, the staff or the team will show ownership, or will show some buy-in to create the actual sustainability that you need to develop your structure or whatever it is that you believe in. One thing I can tell you is that Encase we understand the business of partnership. I tell folks wherever I go that you'd rather be 10% of something rather than owning 100% of nothing. So we understand these partnerships. We have a lot of strategic partnerships in the 3 continents that we operate in. At the end of last year, we signed a very good one with a company based in Aberdeen, Scotland. They are very strong in the oil and gas industry and telecommunications as consultants. So we have partnered with them strategically to ensure that we can provide services in that same space, you know. So it's important. We have a lot of consultants that work for us. Another good example we have is one of our strongest consultants is actually an organizational therapist, and he's also a psychiatrist, one of the best in the Washington, D.C. area. The last time we were here in Abuja, Nigeria, we brought him on board as part of our package, and the input that he had to work with organizational psychology just kind of catapulted a different feel in that training session. So we see a lot of those things taking place when we actually strategically partner with the right people. Well, they're the ones that sometimes suffer because it's an issue of resources. What Encase does is that we provide what I call bespoke. Our trainings are tailored to meet the needs of our clients. And when I say meet, we provide the best value for your time and your resources. Another thing that I actually see when it comes to small SMEs is that we notice that because of the lack of resources, we can actually provide a platform where 2 or 3 companies can actually come together, and we provide the training for them, so it becomes more affordable and easier for them. Yeah, and they actually need it. Look at. You have to be intentional about it. Look at all the emerging companies, the emerging countries that are growing right now in the world. The likes of Malaysia, the likes of India, countries like Brazil, where you see there's a lot of emergence in the economic structure. Those countries have been intentional about building capacity. You know, when they do that, they actually follow it through both in their economic policies to ensure that there's an effective socio-economic structure that can actually back the plans to transform the economy of the country. Now, if you take that from a global scale and bring it down to an organization, you notice that organizations themselves have to be intentional, no matter how small or how big they are. We're currently one of the leading consultants for one of the largest financial organizations in, I can say, Africa. We do a lot of work when it comes to team building with them. And the first time we went in there, we delivered, and subsequently they've called us back often to render much more service. So even when we work with smaller companies, we also provide tailored training packages and services that you can actually look back and say, yes, this was actually for us. We sit down with you, we evaluate where your pain is, and then we begin to find the best solutions. We've actually designed some of our trainings to be more sensitive to the African market, because you see, again, coming from the United States, our corporate office is now based in Lagos, but coming from the United States, we had to ensure that everything we did was now suitable for the African culture. We're more sensitive, we understand the culture, which is an advantage we have over most people, and so we've identified our own niche area and we're honing into it so we can actually give our clients what they need, bring in what we've learned in the Western world and merging it with what we have here in the African marketplace. Engaging in Encase consulting gives you the 360 when it comes to corporate training and the entire capacity building. We understand the terrain that we operate in, which is the Nigerian market and the African market. We're very cultural sensitive. We know that different cultures and different faiths are involved in our training. So when we come in, we come in as experts experts with the content we have to provide for you, but we're very sensitive to the audience we're actually tailoring that service to. We actually work with faith-based organizations. So when we come in, we give you the entire spectrum, basically. It's more of a holistic approach to personal development, a holistic approach to capacity building. We've created our own niche, like we said earlier on, and that is actually in the team building area, the personal development area, the renewing of the business mindsets, bringing in transformational cultural change that can enhance any organization to succeed. Sessions are very interactive, so they're not just boring, so you just spend the whole day. I mean, we have things that everyone just literally having a good laugh. So we understand different learning abilities on how to transfer the information across both emotionally and logically. And that's what we do very well, so regardless of wherever we are. And then we bring our expertise from working outside of the African market to marry what goes on here and to ensure that your organization is positioned. It's all about the client. It's all about what the client needs. It's all about what the client wants. And that's why we're very unique in our approach. I believe strongly in sustainable development. And what we've done with Encase, we've positioned ourselves in a strategic niche here in Africa. We begin to see, well, in the next 10 years, I see ourselves as being the go-to consultancy that people will come for advisory services. That's where we want to see ourselves. And then also we want to build training centers. I believe that, look at what's going on in Nigeria, for instance. There's a very strong need for people coming out of universities, people coming out of college to actually undergo certain levels of training, whether it's technical skills training or vocational skills. So we want to see ourselves as an organization that would as the go-to organization for both advisory services and build a lot of training centers to build capacity that we need for the next generation and the 21st century and beyond.